Welcome back to the Enough is Enough podcast. Today's topic, how to file on the narc. Previous podcast was before you file, now the filing. It's important to know how to file and how to deal with the narc's reaction to you filing divorce. And of course, it won't be pretty. I'll cover these steps today. For all the details on the divorce process, get my book, Escaping Your Narcissist. That's why I wrote it. Most Christian therapists won't talk about the divorce process. They want to act like it's not going to happen. Well, I want it to happen if you're married to an abusive narc monster, and I'll help you get through it. I'll mention a few helpful resources at the end of this video. Okay, bottom line, you're going to have to file. Most narcs will not file. They don't want that narrative. They don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose control, and they want it to be your fault because you filed. Frankly, they want to stay married to you and do whatever they want to do, which is what they're doing now. And they want the narrative, of course, of you filing. Now, if a narc files, what that means is he's found another woman to be his new supply, and she's pushing him. Okay, whatever. But that's rare that he files. Okay, presenting your decision to divorce via email, never in person, never on the phone. You send a very brief and direct message about your decision to divorce. Give no explanation of why, none, ever. He will want to know why. It doesn't make any difference why. You know why, and he should know why. Don't bother. Any explanation is a sign of weakness and will prompt the narc to try to suck you into endless discussions about your decision. He won't accept any of your reasons anyway. Giving no explanation ever empowers you and gives him nothing to specifically refute. Of course, then he'll say, she won't even tell me why, Pastor. She won't even tell me why. Members of my family, neighbors, friends, who cares? You don't have to tell him why. Now, you will tell your children why. Oh, yeah. If the children tell the narc your reasons for filing, if they repeat them, fine. You don't care. You're not going to tell him. When he brings up what you have told the children, ignore him. If you're not able to physically separate, here is your email to the narc. Here's how I want you to put it. And of course, you'll get the specifics. Buy the book for the specific verbiage that's written down. Here's your email. After a great deal of thought and prayer, I have decided to divorce you. That decision is final, and I will not discuss it. This is your email. I would prefer this process to be amicable, and of course, we will work out the time we each spend with the children. I wish you the best in your ongoing life. Whether you do or not, it's just something to say. We will live for the time being in the same home, co-parenting and maintaining the household. I will only communicate with you via this email address. Of course, give it. He'll have it because you've sent it to him. And only about necessary issues, time with the children, money issues, household chores, and emergencies. Okay, now if you're able to physically separate, and I prefer you separating if you can, you'll send your email after you leave. And your email will be the same as the one I just read, with one exception. You'll omit this line. We will live for the time being in the same home, co-parenting and maintaining the household. Of course, you're not going to be there, so you don't say that. If you're forced to live with the narc during the divorce, and this happens in many cases, only communicate via email. I don't care if the narc is standing 2 feet away from you in the kitchen. You send him an email and only receive emails. You can do that. You don't want to have any discussion with this dirtball. Or your attorney may have an app, a certain app that you can use to communicate with him. That's it. Okay, here's serving the narc. Serve the narc the divorce papers as soon as possible after sending your email message. If you're living with him, send the email when he's gone for a few days. That would be best if that can happen. Or gone for the day at work. Or take the kids with you for a few days on a trip and send the email while you're gone. That also works. This will give a narc a chance to process it and start his adjustment. And you can avoid the initial outrage and how could you reactions. We want him to settle down to some degree if we can have that. Don't serve him in his work. There's no need to further inflame him. He'll be inflamed enough. He can be served at home or through the mail. Your attorney will advise you. The date of separation is in fact important. Make this date as close to the filing as possible. You can use the date you file. All your community property is to be split from the date of separation. He can empty his bank account and buy expensive items, and you will not lose your half of that money. Any debts he runs up after the date of separation will not be yours. That's important. Okay, communication after you file, also important. Once you have sent your email and he has been served, only communicate with him via email and only about the necessary issues I have previously mentioned. Do not communicate with him about the divorce. Do not communicate with him about the marriage. Do not communicate with him about any personal matters. That part of your life is shut off from him. Who you're talking to, what you're doing, done. The narc is a roommate and a co-parent and a business associate and nothing more. Well, he's a dirtball too. Any communication about the divorce, the marriage, and personal matters will embolden him, weaken you, and give him hope and lead to more attempts to dialogue, which you don't want. You are done. Express no sympathy for him. He'll get plenty of that from the peanut gallery. Do not disagree with him. Give him zero response. Give him nothing back. The only time you will briefly and directly respond to him is when he attacks you or lies about you in front of your children. More on this in a future podcast. You give him the brick wall. He'll do everything in his power, the narc will, to get you to engage, to interact, to respond to him about the divorce. He wants to change your mind. He wants to upset you. He wants to know what you're thinking and feeling. He wants to keep you off balance. He wants to make you doubt your decision. He wants to make you defend your decision. He wants to make you suffer for your decision, weaken your resolve, regain control over you. He'll ignore your boundary. He's never listened to your boundaries, has he? He'll ignore your boundary to only communicate via email. As you know, the narc doesn't like boundaries. Why should he start now? He'll want to meet with you to talk. No response. He'll want to take you out to dinner. No response. He'll want to sit with you in church. No response, and you don't do it. He'll want to sit with you at the kids' activities. No response, and you won't do that. You'll get up and move. He'll want to FaceTime. No response. He'll want to talk on the phone. No response. He'll want to text, use Facebook messages. No response. Instagram. No response. He'll want to communicate through cards and letters. No response. Give him nothing. It'll drive him nuts, which is what he deserves. Do not respond to the narc unless it's a necessary issue, some crisis, something with the kids. Give him nothing. The whole divorce process, your attorney will handle. You have nothing to do with that, directly with the narc. Don't waver. I did a whole podcast earlier in this series on do not waver once you file. And I'm repeating it now because it's worth repeating. Do not waver. Stay on course with the divorce no matter what the narc throws at you. I want to ask you to join our anti-narc team by subscribing to my podcast and subscribing to my YouTube channel. This gives us more clout, more impact, and the bigger team we have, and many are joining us, we can make even more of a difference. Now, my book on the divorce process with a narc, Escaping a Narcissist, is on my website along with all my other resources, videos, other books, phone advice service. I talk to people all day long, Monday through Thursday anyway, because I take Fridays off because I can, about their situation with a narc and should I divorce and do I live with a narc, and they have questions, they want confirmation, they want guidance. I'm happy to do it. Also, if you're at the beginning of this escape from your narc process, watch my online video series, Freedom from Your Narcissist Journey. It gives you a basic overview of the entire escape process. And join us September 18, 2023 for our live stream. We're launching a brand new ebook. There are more books all the time. This is an ebook, Stop Feeling Guilty for Your Divorce. We're going to have some free giveaways too of that ebook, Stop Feeling Guilty for Your Divorce. We'll have a great live stream September 18, 7:30 Eastern. We'd love to see you there.